Hello. Yeah, another Patreon reaction, and this time it's of a video called How Sigma Males Act by Far From Average. And there was a message with the request, which was that they would like my opinion and honest feelings on this video. And I mean, just judging by the title and the fact that I can see some of the fucking videos that I'm being recommended, I really like Best of the Worst. I recommend them. But, like, oh god. Just judging by these thumbnails that I'm seeing right here in relation to the Sigma male, I'm like, oh god, is this another incel thing? Oh god. So just judging by these thumbnails, I already have like a negative view going into it. But I guess I also should talk a little bit about, I think because, right. Alright, there we go. So we don't just have a white screen right there. I think this is like the reason why I'm being requested this is probably because I jokingly call myself a omega lambda male, and when I say sometimes, it's just when people bring up these like alpha, beta, all that stuff, then I go like, actually I'm an omega lambda male. And if you were to ask me what is an omega lambda male, I was like, I couldn't really tell you, because it's just something I say. But I guess, in my opinion, when I say it about myself, it's just someone who just is themselves. Like, don't try and put yourself into these fucking categories. Like, okay, I'm gonna be an alpha male, so if a situation happens, like, let's say you do something, and something happens, and you're like, you know what? This is how an alpha male is supposed to be, so I'm gonna do this thing. Just do whatever comes naturally from yourself. If it is alpha, if it is beta, if it is omega, if it is whatever. Like, I'm in the camp of don't think before you speak. That is where I am. Don't think before you speak. People often say, think before you speak. No, don't do that. Don't think before you speak, because then actual opinions come out. Like, the first thing that comes to your head, and you just blabber on bullshit, and it might be something like, oh wait, this is the way I said it right there isn't necessarily how I meant to say it. And then the other person you're talking to, you can explain, like with each other, like, yeah, I don't know, like, I am not a very social person. I mean, I don't use any social media. Well, that is a lie. I do use YouTube. I mean, I make these YouTube videos, and I do use Steam. So I guess those two are like, that is enough social media interactions for me. Yeah. Even though, I mean, most of the social interaction I get from YouTube are like a one-way street. It's me like blabbering on to other people. And on Steam, I mostly play single-player games. But that is enough for me. So I'm not into this like hyper, because I have noticed it, especially with, like some people when they come and talk to me, like it is, I feel like the world and all that, it is too like extreme on each end, and people can no longer talk to each other. Yeah, I feel like in recent years, I mean, that is pretty retarded. since I barely talk to people. Like in the last 15 or so years, like I don't speak to a lot of people. I might speak to like a few new people every year. I mean, you could probably count the amount of new people I talk in a year on one hand, and that counts, you know, just anonymous people online. So you could probably count in the last 15 years, I'm probably averaging less than 10 just new people, be it online or whatever, just even probably in my fucking comment section as well. So that is my mindset. I just do things that come up in my mind. I don't tend to think of the consequences or anything, because I'm like, if it is something someone doesn't like and they misunderstand what I'm saying, I can just tell them again, be like, oh no, you idiot, you misunderstood what I said, and then get that over with. Yeah, so let's just go right into this.
Share with you guys is something that forever changed my life. And after I truly understood this and the reason why it works, everything with girls finally just started to click.
Okay, yeah, it is some type of insult stuff.
Guys challenge other guys.
God damn it.
Situations, these guys would pretty much stare at each other, almost like two animals would do before they charge at one another. And little did I know.
Maybe I should also explain why I have disdain for incel stuff. I'll do that after this video.
Everything changed. Now, one of the greatest gifts that all of us have as men is the same exact gift that has been given to the natural alphas and sigmas of the world. It's the number one thing that makes them so incredibly desirable.
Okay.
All the guys that I saw when I was younger are the ones who would challenge each other. All of them were not necessarily challenging each other physically, but rather mentally. These men were challenging each other with something called frame. So what is frame? Men who identify as a sigma or alpha male, and even just men who we would call incredibly masculine. All these guys have a unique energy about them, and it's a calm, assertive type of energy. Some guys call it your center, but whatever you want to call it, your ability
what did they call it? Sinner.
To hold a masculine frame will completely change your life in the same way that it did mine. Now, in life, there are going to be things that are constantly trying to move us out of our masculine frame. And as long as we are able to hold frame, these things will simply bounce off of us, and in the process will make us extremely desirable.
So just be calm? Is that what he's trying to say?
Is such a unique gift, and it's the difference between whether or not you will wind up chasing girls or have girls chasing you. Something that you'll always see in the movies when we're dealing with a masculine character is that no matter what is said to the main character, he never seems to move out of his frame. And the reason why these characters give off such a masculine, cool dude kind of vibe is because they always hold frame. Masculine and feminine are simply two types of energy. Many men can be feminine and many women.
Maybe he should talk a bit about what is the frame he's talking about.
The greatest primal attraction trigger in existence is polarity.
Like, it is masculine frame, what does it mean? I'm assuming it's just
incredibly important. What you have to understand
being like
these two energies without getting too deep,
relaxed,
feminine energy
don't care.
Active, while masculine energy
that's what I think.
Now, I've talked in
non-reactive,
about non-reactivity, and non-reactivity is just another way of describing a man who knows how to hold frame. Ask yourself this: if you're on a battlefield,
or someone who feels that the energy spent on being like outraged isn't worth it.
Or are you going to trust your life with someone who's non-reactive and who appears calm and confident despite the situation they're in? I know that
I wouldn't
to trust the guy who is able to hold frame.
Right, I have to go back. Did he say if you're in a war?
A man who is super reactive and freaking out when a tiny little bit of chaos is thrown his way.
Oh,
okay. You're going to trust your life with someone who's non-reactive.
Because I see all these spears and all that. I assume like it's supposed to be like a war thing. I mean, I wouldn't be part of war at all.
As men, to hold a masculine frame is like the greatest aphrodisiac on the planet because it is the greatest highlighter of polarity between masculine and feminine energy. In pretty much every situation where a girl unconsciously tests a man that they're interested in, they're testing him to see if he can hold frame. Or in other words, they're not probing him on a personal level, but instead they are probing his masculine frame to see if they can make it crack. Think about your favorite Marvel supervillain, Thanos, or the guy that everybody loves to hate.
Wait,
And while watching
So-
this guy on screen, how many of you
Okay,
couldn't help
something
but
about
feel his
women.
masculine
I'll be
energy?
honest, I
You guys
just
don't even think
phased
about
out
the
what he
main
said.
reason why Thanos is
Something
so
women
intimidating
does
is not
to
because he's
test
really muscular
men's
or because he has a crazy
frame.
masculine jawline. The reason why Thanos is so intimidating is simply because of his non-reactivity, or because of his
And
incredible
who's
ability
Thanos?
to hold a masculine frame. No matter the situation that he was in, no matter what was being thrown at him, and even while he went through the sacrifice of Gamora, which was needed to obtain the Soul Stone, Thanos never lost his frame. Think about that. This guy had to basically throw his daughter off of a cliff in order to obtain the stones that he needed for the Infinity Gauntlet.
Alright.
This was his purpose. My guy Thanos was simply a man on his purpose. And we can argue whether or not that purpose was for good or evil, but the fact remains.
I'm assuming
No
Thanos
matter what
is
obstacle was thrown at him,
from
no matter
either
what
some
he was
movie,
afraid, Thanos never lost frame.
comics,
The one thing that
myth.
makes a man masculine, and the thing that will cause girls to go absolutely nuts for you, is the simple ability for you to hold frame. Pretty much every time I'm about to record a video for you guys, my dog will start growling and barking at, well, I don't actually know what he barks at, because whenever I go to look, there's nothing there. So whenever this happens, I just think to myself, what would Thanos do? But in all seriousness, how would a man
Oh,
who is able
God.
to hold frame handle this situation?
Yeah, this is what I talk
Said he would
about,
handle it in
like,
a calm and assertive way. The dog barking,
thinking
not trying to
before
record, is
acting.
basically just a way of
No
testing my
thanks,
frame.
not for
If I
me.
freak out, if I get emotional, I start yelling, I've effectively failed the test. My little dog weighing in at about 15 pounds and
Yeah, and
just about a
also,
foot off
I
the
mean, that
ground,
is
will
retarded.
effectively penetrated the
Why
frame
would
of a
you,
grown
like,
man.
alright, your
And that,
dog
my
barked.
friends, is a
Why are
very
you gonna
sad
go
thing.
into a
Why do
fucking
you guys think
frenzy?
Caesar the dog whisperer is always talking about
Is it really
calm,
something
assertive energy?
to get angry
Why does he
about?
always
To
say
waste
that you must be
energy?
calm and assertive? It's simply because dogs can pick up on masculine energy just like females can. What happens when your dog starts barking and lashing out at another dog while you're walking down the street? What do? Do you panic and you start yelling at him to stop, or do you hold your frame and get him back into a
Okay,
calm, assertive
so I
state?
assume
When
what
girls
he
suddenly go
means
cold on you,
isn't
they
necessarily
are
that your dog is
simply
trying to
holding
test your
frame for
masculinity,
weakness. When girls or
but
even other
it
guys
is
for that
just
matter,
a
get
example.
emotional and start yelling at you. They are those who have stepped out of their masculine frame. Getting emotional.
And I assume he's
freaking
talking
out,
about
being
that.
what I would call
That
reactive.
is like
These are
what women
feminine
do as
behaviors.
well.
Holding
They're not
frame is
necessarily
extremely important for being a man who
testing
wants
your
to be seen as very
masculinity.
desirable for women, but it's also incredibly
But
important for a man who wants
it
to
is
be
something that
respected
happens
by other men.
passively.
The type
And
of
if
man
you
that
fail,
women
you
fear, and
fail.
At the same time, respect.
Well,
is
obviously,
a
if you fail,
man
you
who's
fail, but
able
if you
to
get,
hold
like,
frame. And your ability to do this shows through your behavior.
off-kiltered,
and they don't return
and you
something,
start
or give you some
screaming
reason that
and
makes
getting,
no
like,
logical sense, so
emotional,
you start yelling at them and
you
causing them
fail.
to scene. Obviously, the answer is going to be no. People will test us all the time. Even our dogs will test us to see if we are able to hold frame. Something that you all know is that
Or maybe he
nervous
actually
frame
means that the dog
Remember,
is
ask
going
yourself
out of
why.
its
The
way
answer, in large
to
part,
test
is
your
because
masculine
nervousness
frame.
shows a lack of a masculine frame.
If that's
When
the
you are
case, I think
nervous,
that's
you are being
retarded.
Reactive, meaning you are being controlled by your external environment. All of us get nervous at times, and nervous energy is not attractive when it is coming from a male. Think about this. If a girl can throw you
I don't
off of
think
your
nervous
frame, or if a girl can
energy
make
is
you nervous
attractive
just by
for
being
anyone.
around you, what does that say about you? What that tells her is that her
Especially
mere
not if it's
existence is
constant.
enough to
If
throw you
you're
off.
constantly
Holding
nervous,
frame doesn't mean that you have
there's
to
something
be
wrong.
overly serious all the time. It simply means that you are non-reactive. Guys who have lots of confidence are
And if you're also
non-reactive.
never
Girls can say or
nervous,
do
I would say
whatever
there's
they
probably
want to these
something
guys, and they are never able to
wrong
take
as
them
well.
out of their masculine frame. What happened to Papa Doc in 8 Mile after Eminem whooped him during the prior freestyle? Papa Doc was, as they would say, so shook that he lost his frame.
Alright, well, I understand that's probably some rap reference, since I know who Eminem is. Don't know who this Papa is.
He wants to see if you're going to get emotional or become reactive, and he wants to see if he can get you
Rap
to step out
isn't
of your
really
frame.
a genre I
Paparazzi
enjoy.
wouldn't leave Kanye alone. He lost frame,
There are some
got
good rap
emotional,
songs
started
though.
yelling and then trying to fight them. And then what happened as a result of this? All that happened was that more paparazzi started doing the same exact thing by becoming
Well, I can't think of any at the
stepping
top of
out
my
his
head.
frame. Kanye made
But
the
I do
exact
like
problem
some
that was
like
making him angry in the first
rap
place even worse.
mixes
When other people
that
insult
people
you,
do
or
when they
things in a
mix
way that
other
is trying
songs
to get a
into
reaction
them.
out of you, they're trying to see if you will get defensive and freak out, or if you will remain calm.
But it's
assertive,
not a
and
genre
frame.
I
Even animals test us
look
to
up
see
to.
if we will hold frame, and if we do, they will respect us. if
And
we
the reason why I'm
don't,
talking about this
they
is
will lose
because
respect.
I'm completely
When girls
lost
test you,
in this
or they try to
video.
move you off center, and you
I'll be honest.
by holding your masculine frame, they'll not
Alexander,
only respect you, but they will also
I'm
instantly become
fucking
more
lost.
attracted to you. Holding frame is simply being calm, assertive, and most importantly, non-reactive. This means
Is that
as
Down
strong,
syndrome?
masculine men with a strong frame, nothing in the external world should be able to take us out of our frame or move us off center or cause us to panic or freak out or become defensive. And the best way by far to build and maintain your own masculine frame, which is one of the greatest gifts that we have as men.
I mean, it's a lot to talk about masculine frame, but it feels like it's just repeating a lot of the same shit. But it still, like, doesn't stick.
If you guys start doing this, you will be completely blown away by how girls start to treat you differently. And it truly does have the potential to change your life in the same way that it changed mine. And with that said, until next time, thank you guys so much for watching.
Well, that was horrific. Very boring. Well, my honest opinion, my honest feelings. Well, it was boring. I'll look at the comments. Maybe there will be something. Okay, no, that was a mistake. It feels like I've seen these comments, like, because it's always the same thing, like some random dude, blah blah blah, me, blah blah blah. Like, I don't read that comment. I don't know, to me this feels a lot like incel speak. Maybe that is what, maybe I should just, fuck it. I'll just DuckDuckGo Sigma males, let's see. Is there like, oh yeah, the first thing that comes up at incel wiki. Alright, well, I'm not clicking. Alright. Well, why do I have disdain for incels? Well, it has to do with the fact that I think I've talked to 4 people who've like said that they are incels. And the problem I had, I mean, I blocked 2 of them. And the reason for that is that in every single conversation, absolutely every time, they would always talk about women. Women this, they would bitch about women. It's like, come on, we're talking about Pokemon. And you're gonna bitch about that some women like to dress up as Pokemon? Like, what? How does that affect, like, what we're, like, talking about? Like, how we want to fuck certain Pokemon girls. Why are you bringing up that some real life women are dressing like Pokemon girls and they're ruining Pokemon? Like, yeah, no. But that is one example. It was like constant about everything, and they would always like bring in like women this, women that. It's like, I don't care about, like, I don't care about 3DPD. Like, I don't care about real women. Like, it's not something I've been interested in at the moment. Who knows, maybe in the future I will. But so far in my 25 years of life, I haven't felt like a sexual attraction to women and all that. I still have a lot of, well, I don't have any friends anymore. I would not classify, like, I have friends. I have acquaintances. And a lot of them are women that sometimes you like just talk to. I mean, and that is many years ago since I got sick. I had ME CFS in the last 15. Yeah, wait, I was 14. Yeah, Jesus Christ, almost half my life now. But what was I talking about? Oh, I can see that I was talking about something about Sigma males. Oh yeah, I was talking about why I don't like incels. Because out of the 4 ones, 50% of them just constantly talked about women. And even when I told them, if you say women, girl, anything to do with female, if you use that word ever again, even if it is in context, I will block you. 2 of them did say it, and I think one of them actually did say like something in context, but oh, like, you have used those words too many times in the times that we've talked, you're blocked. And then one of them is like I don't know if it's like a super right wing, like for him it's like very weird. Yeah, he's like very racist and all that, but if you know about him, it's like you are obviously attracted to like black men, because now everything he talks about are like black penises and black men. It's like, all right, yeah. If I see that like ever again, I'm blocking you as well. Like you are obviously a closeted homosexual. But it's sad that people like have to lie to themselves. Like, if you're attracted to black men, be attracted to them, like, or black women, like, instead of just calling them gorillas and all that. And like, in all contexts, like, we're talking about brown ales, and then he starts talking about black people. Anyways, that is my own like, God, like, fuck off. And I do wonder, why do these people think... I think it has to do because a lot of them came from my Onahole reviews, my sex toy reviews, my hentai reviews. And they think that because I enjoy reading pornography that I don't know. But I think I've done it. I don't know, like, what can I say about this video? Like, I'm trying to come up with something, because I feel like this reaction I've done is so bad, it's so terrible, on my end. The video is also shit, and boring, and I barely understood, like, okay, it was about frame, keeping on frame, keep your masculine frame, be calm at all times, and women and dogs are like testing you at all times, and you have to think like someone called Thanos. Maybe what is Thanos? Oh my gosh, who is Thanos? Oh, Marvel. Okay. Yeah, I don't watch superhero shit. The only Marvel movies I saw was the first Thor movie and Iron Man 1. Yes, actually I thought Iron Man 1 was okay and Thor 1 was okay, and that was enough superhero shit for me. It's like, yeah, like, I'm not interested in this. Okay, so it has something to do with that. I'm really trying to think of something. So okay, I actually did spend around 2 to 3 minutes trying to think of something to say positive to say about this video, and I couldn't think of any. And I still don't really have any, like, what is a Sigma male? I don't know, like something like Thanos. I don't know I don't know who Thanos is. I don't know his character. Just judging by the video, Sigma male is someone who never breaks masculine frame. And what is a masculine frame? Someone who doesn't show emotion, I guess. So, I will say one thing that this video that I think is really stupid is that, and I guess you could say beta behavior, is the fact that you're changing yourself to try and fit into a mold. An example for the video: let's say a woman like flirts with you, or what was it? Like a woman does like a Down syndrome face to you. I don't understand what that like thing that came up was about. Let's say a woman does a Down syndrome face to you, and she's testing your masculine frame. Instead of going, okay, how would Thanos handle this? okay, that's what I'm gonna do. That to me seems like beta behavior, instead of just act however would naturally come out from you. Why change yourself to try and get like women? Like if these women are like testing you and all doing all this stupid bullshit, why would you change yourself to be able to get into their pants? To me, that's like, maybe it's because I've never had sexual attraction to real women, so I cannot truly understand this like need to change yourself to get that. Like, I don't know, like to me that just blows my mind that some people, well, I would not say some, I would say probably a lot of people do that. Like they change how they are to fit into certain molds because they think that it might be beneficial to them. Because I mean, I assume most people aren't as privileged as I am to where they can just be who they want to be who they actually are. I think I should say, not be who they want to be. Because who do I want to be? Well, I want to be someone who is healthy, that can walk. I would love to go back and forest walk like I used to be able to do 15, 16 years ago. I would love to do that, but I can no longer do that. Hopefully, I'll be able to do that in the future. But I think like just be yourself. I guess that is my point, my retort to this video. Just be yourself, and who cares? Like, what other things about that? Would you really want to interact and be like close to people, or have like relationships, like meaningful relationships with people that you cannot be yourself with? I mean, I guess if the only thing you're looking for is like one night stands, sure, I guess. But I don't know, to me it's like I would rather just jerk off myself. Because I cannot imagine like the energy you would have to spend. Like, is the energy used worth whatever it is you're getting? Is that transaction of energy and calories, the extra calories you're putting on to be someone else, is that worth whatever it is you're getting? I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much of someone in my mindset that has to do pacing to be able to do stuff. Because I think this is really hard for someone in my position, since, I mean, I talked about this before. I spend around 16 to 18 hours a day in bed. And I have to like check my energy levels and really try and limit the amount of things that I do, even spending too much time in front of the computer. And I mean, one thing I've had to do now as well is just reduce the amount of just noise that I have, because I used to, when I was just spending the time in bed, I used to have podcasts or just episodes on in the background for something. But I'm pacing that out as well, so I don't know, like this is becoming more of like me like venting about my condition, and I'm being like, oh, hopefully the adrenaline treatment that I'm going to get, hopefully it will work. Basically I'm going to get like an insulin pump, but instead of insulin it's going to be adrenaline along with syrgas, which I don't know what it's called in English, but the direct translation, syrgas, means oxygen gas. So I'm gonna be getting that. So hopefully that will help, and who knows. So I'm trying to think positive when it comes to my own life and my own conditions. Yeah, Jesus Christ, 30 minutes, and I've said nothing because I have nothing to say. I'm so sorry, Alexander. I'm sorry. If you want, you can request something else.